What's going on? This is Yancey, author and producer of the This Is Why series. Make sure you go now and subscribe to my website, www.newfacemanagement.org. This is why you go to college.
This is why you go to college.
Hey yo, this is why you go to college. New Face Entertainment. Always paid my bills.
This is why you go to college.
New Face Entertainment. New Face. New Face.
This is why you go to college.
This is why you go to college.
This is why you go to college.
My name is Edwin McClure, aka Security. I'm from Prince George's County, Maryland. My accent might come back now. I'm getting ready to start my new job working with Gartner Communications. I am a senior research analyst with them. I'll be starting that new role on Monday.
Cool. All right. So when you got to Hampton, what was your major and when you graduated?
All right. When I got to Hampton, I had majored in marketing, and I had planned to go into marketing because when I was in high school, I used to make headbands for people, and that's how I kept some money in my pocket. And I had a teacher tell me, "You need to major in marketing."
Okay.
So that's what I did. And then I got to Hampton, and I had to take math.
And that didn't work out too.
That did not work out at all. And by second semester, I found out that Hampton offered an advertising major.
Cool.
And so I was able to switch up and make advertising my major, and was able to make marketing my minor. And so with advertising as my major, I only had to do like 2 levels of math, and thank God I was able to get out of math completely. So that's what I did. I am absolutely creative, half of the brain thinker. I think in pictures, not numbers at all.
Cool. And when did you graduate? What year?
I graduated, I was supposed to graduate 2006, but I actually graduated in 2007.
Cool.
Because second half of my senior year, 2006, I was actually at Northwestern getting a stem cell transplant.
Okay. Cool. All right. What made you decide to go to college? What made you decide to go to college? What made you decide to go to Hampton?
What made me decide to go to college is it was never a question. We were always going to go to college. And when I say we, I'm talking about me and my brothers, the twins. My father, our father, is a PhD psychologist, and he's been there for close to 40 years now. Our older brother, Marcus, aka Ruben Stutter, he was the first one to go to college and graduated. I knew that was something that I had to do. One of my teachers back in high school,
Yeah, that's bad.
I can't remember her first name, but Miss Morgan, she was fine. And I remember her telling me about Hampton. And it's really funny, man. I'm getting down in the weeds, but I had a little girlfriend at the time. And I was talking to Miss Morgan about my girlfriend, and she's like, well, first off, you're going to be a Hampton man. And when you get to Hampton, you're not going to worry about her. She's going to worry about you because of all the women at Hampton. And I just, you know, I'm from PG County. I had my accent back then. I only wore the black shirt and jeans. Like, my mind, I hadn't traveled. So my mind didn't even know how to wrap around what Miss Morgan was talking about. It sounded good, though. So, so at that point, Hampton became my number one choice. And then I took a visit there, and
You understood exactly what she was talking about.
I understood exactly what she was talking about. There was no other option for me.
Cool, cool. All right, so you get to Hampton, and then let's just talk about your experience.
Hold on. Let's talk about Brent Martin.
All right, go ahead.
Because she's the one who accepted me into Hampton.
Okay.
She was and is still fine. And for her to be the first face of Hampton after Miss Morgan that I saw,
Yeah.
I was hooked. And then she was really dope. Like, I brought all my stuff, you know, for the on-site admission that we do here in PG County. And so I brought all my stuff. I had like 5 letters of recommendation. Like, I was serious about going to Hampton. And so she went through all my information, and then she stood up like to shake my hand, and she was like, "Oh, at Hampton we have a tradition where we don't shake hands, we hug."
Absolutely.
And she hugged me. And I was like, I'm thinking to myself, so you got all these women there, and then we hug just because that's what we do? Oh, shoot. I'm moving to Hampton now. I was hooked.
Let's talk about your freshman year and then your experiences outside the classroom.
Let's talk about freshman.
Go ahead. Let's talk about it.
Freshman week, get to Hampton, and again, then I was not the polished man you see now. I was not yet a Hampton man. And you hear laughter in the background because I got all of my now Hampton men brethren who are now Hampton men as well, laughing at who we all used to be before we got that Hampton polish. Again, I was PG County through and through. Matter of fact, I didn't even wear glasses when I first started at Hampton. I didn't start wearing glasses until like my sophomore year.
Yeah, glasses is cool. You know what I mean?
I appreciate that. But I got there, and again, my accent was so thick. And don't let me forget, I got to tell you about that too, and how I ended up losing my accent. But got there freshman week, and I got a million stories, man. Got there, and I used to roll with this dude, Marcellus. Yeah, Marcellus. And this Batman he is from Maryland, but he's the clown from Hampton University, especially from the class of 2006. This Batman used to have this like farmer hat. And so it's like Tuesday for freshman week, so it's only freshmen there. And then, like the big brothers, big sisters, they're there. And Yancey Greeks, you guys can shed more light on it because I don't know, but Greeks were there. And we were walking, Marcellus and I was walking like to the caf, and we passed the AKAs. I don't think I need to explain any more there with the AKAs, but Tanzi wanted to wear Marcellus's hat. And so Marcellus let her wear it, we start rapping and stuff, and I'm just thinking to myself, all of these women are fine. I would marry each of you at the same time. Like, what do I got to do? Do I need one of the jackets that the dudes got to do? Like, what do I got to do to get on your radar? But long story short, Marcellus is just rapping. And he asked him, he's like, so y'all gonna be our big sisters or what? And Tanzi was like, yeah. And so, like, day 2 of setting foot on Hampton's campus, Marcellus and myself are adopted by the finest women on Hampton's campus.
AKA.
Oh my
It's a
gosh.
major victory.
Dog, y'all don't understand how great Hampton was from then on out. Oh my gosh. It was wonderful. I'm not trying to do a sales pitch for Hampton. I'm just trying to tell you, man. Having the AKAs as your big sisters, especially as a freshman, was amazing. Because of the AKAs, I ended up meeting a lot of like the Greek people, and still one guy, the only guy from Hampton that I claim is my big brother. Tanzi introduced him to me, and the way she introduced me to Foots, she was like, "Foots, this is your little brother." And for me, at that time, during freshman year, one of the rules at Hampton is that freshmen can't have a car on campus. And my freshman year, I was dealing with multiple sclerosis because I had been diagnosed my senior year of high school. And so every month that I was at Hampton, I actually had to fly back to Maryland to get my treatment at NIH. Foots used to pick me, he used to take me to the airport, and then he used to pick me up from the airport. He always literally looked out for me like his little brother. So still vouching for Hampton. I'm going to vouch for HBCUs as a whole. From then, till now, everybody from Hampton, and I'll go as far as to say it's the same way for most HBCUs as well, it's a family. It really is a family. When my wife at the time and myself had our son back in 2015, I had another Hampton alum. She reached out to me and said, "Hey, I see, your son is, 6 months. My little boy is 1 now. I have a tub full of clothes. Would you guys like them?" And my wife, who went to UGA and went to a white school, she had no point of reference for that type of love. You know what I mean? For that type of family where we just look out for each other and just give whatever we have and whatever we can to make sure that our fellow classmate as well. So when it comes to the idea of college, I'm always going to vouch for HBCU first. I had professors who would definitely look out for me and watch out for me if I had something going on. You know, when it came to why I wasn't able to get an assignment in, I had professors who would yoke me up, and Yancey was over there with me. You know, Buckman, we had the same professors that would snatch us up when we were bull jobbing. You know, when we weren't giving 100% and phoning it in on assignments. And it was that love that I experienced at Hampton that really makes me try to send every young person, especially guys, to Hampton, because that ratio is amazing. Where are we at with getting that time machine perfected? No updates?
No.
Time is flat.
Just hold it in your memory, man.
That's all you got.
That's all you got. That's all you got.
Time is flat, man. You're still there.
All right.
What else you got for me, man?
All right. So let's talk about multiple sclerosis and your MS. Let's talk about that situation and your platform and what you're trying to do with that.
Okay, cool. So with me,
and then mention your social media handles and all that.
Cool. So yeah, I was diagnosed with MS my senior year of high school. I had been accepted to Hampton for about 3 weeks, and then I got diagnosed with the MS. So I went from the highest of highs to the lowest of lows. And just at that point wondering, you know, what is college going to be like and all of that. Fast forward to graduation and then going to Hampton, and was still able to make it work. Had to give myself injections every other day for the first 2 years I was at Hampton. Then that advanced to every day because the disease kept pushing through the medications. To year 4, where the MS had progressed through all of the available MS medications at the time. And my neurologist told me that. Said that, yeah, you're out of options. The only prayer that you kind of have is that she had heard about a stem cell transplant test, a trial that was going on, at Northwestern University, where they were giving people chemotherapy to completely kill their present immune system, because the hypothesis was that MS lived within the immune system. They thought that something went wrong during the infant's development, where their immune system was being created. And so the thought was, if they could kill your immune system, well, take some of your stem cells, kill your immune system, clean those stem cells, and then reinfuse them, then it would give your body a second chance to let the immune system develop. This time, preferably the second time around, without the MS in it. And so this was year 4, and I was blessed to be able to participate in the stem cell transplant. And so my second semester of my senior year, I went to Chicago and I went through the chemotherapy. They literally put a line in. I'm proud of these scars here. They call it a PICC line. They put the line in through your arm there, and it goes all the way into your heart. And the reason why they do this specific type of a line is because of all of the different medications that are going to be going in your body. They don't want to have to just keep putting, a needle in your arm. So I think it was 5 days of chemotherapy that I had to have. And then at that point, they're watching the numbers on my stem cells, just waiting for those numbers to go down to 0. And once it went down to 0, I'm going to try to fast forward through. Once it went down to 0, they reinfused my clean stem cells in, and then they were watching to see the numbers go back up. And thankfully, everything went the way it was supposed to. I was in the hospital in Chicago for a month. But by the time they dismissed me from the hospital, I wasn't wearing my glasses because my body was doing that amazingly well. God was with me the whole entire time of the stem cell process. After I went home, I had to be on lockdown, I called it, for 3 months because it was just like a newborn child being born, where you don't want dogs and animals and church members kissing on a new baby. It was the same way with me, because just like with a new baby, you're waiting on we were waiting on my immune system to rebuild. And so thankfully, I didn't have any problems with that. The immune system rebuilt. And for over 10 years, I was completely MS free. I didn't have any new lesions on my brain. I didn't have, excuse me, any new symptoms. I didn't have anything going on with the MS. So I went from when I was first diagnosed to thinking I'm never going to be able to have a family. You know, definitely no woman's going to want to deal with some sick dude, and years of having to deal with the steroids before the stem cell transplant. Then I had the stem cell transplant where he had me, you know, freeze my sperm and all of that because they said the chemotherapy is going to make you sterile. Just so many different things, so many places and people telling me no. To go from all of that to now, after the transplant, and the world is wide open. It was a blessing from God. That's the only way I can describe it. I met my wife, and we had one miscarriage, but I was blown away. As heartbreaking as that was, I was blown away that I was even able to get her pregnant. Because again, I'm with 10, 15 years of doctors saying that I wouldn't be able to.
Unedited, busting shots.
You know what I'm saying?
Thinking I'm good to go. Come on, baby, we can't have kids. Bow!
Double burn.
Oh shit, you're pregnant. Go ahead.
That's the pappy.
Yeah, that's what it was.
So to find out we were pregnant, I was blown away. And unfortunately, we ended up having a miscarriage. But I was looking more at the end game, like, oh snap, this joint's possible.
Right.
So that year was hard. And I'm trying not to keep going down the road of my journey specifically, but that whole time when I was at Hampton, I only had to get myself through the disease. But then I was married when we had the miscarriage. It was like, oh snap, I got to bring somebody else through this journey. So that was a whole nother thing there. I'm gonna bring back while I'm even giving you that a little bit. But God showed up and showed out. Had my little boy, Levi Boaz. He came out of nowhere, but had my little boy. And then 9 months later, my wife told me that somebody else is growing in here as well. And 9 months later, Eden Bella, his little sister, was born after that. So there's nothing you can tell me God can't do. Because he's been more than a parent in my life, personally, which I can speak to. And Yancy, this brings me to, I guess, kind of the other half of your question in terms of my business and what I'm doing. My life is, it has not been easy, but God has always been there. God never promised us an easy life. But what he promises that if we're faithful, he'll always be there with us and he'll always bring us through. One of the first times I was on television back in, I think it was 2009, which was 3 years after my stem cell transplant. My doctor had published his findings from the transplant. And Bloomberg reached out to me and I did an interview with them. And then the CBS Early Show, and I mean, a ton of media outlets reached out to me. The CBS Early Show, they actually flew to my grad school, which was VCU. They sent a team to my apartment to interview me there about my transplant and my life after the transplant. When that team went back to New York, their editor-in-chief said, can we get him here, to New York? And so when I did my CBS Early Show interview, after that, there were so many people who reached out to me who, yes, they wanted, of course, to know about the transplant and wanted to get linked up so that they could do the transplant. But what I saw was they really just wanted to hear something positive from me. They just wanted to hear some good news. They just wanted a bit of hope. And that's what made me grow, or that's what made me start my business, which is My Great Comeback. My, M-Y-G-R-E-A-T, comeback. Life is never ever gonna stop surprising us. Life is never gonna stop being hard. But what I learned is, I learned faith for myself. I learned God for myself. And what I focused on doing is spreading hope to people who are dealing with MS as well as other terminal illnesses that they're battling themselves, as well as things even as broad as unemployment, divorce. Everybody needs hope. Everybody needs something to believe in. And so with my company, we focus on building 3 aspects. We focus on building first your faith. Next, we focus on changing your food, the things that you're eating, your diet. And then last, we focus on fitness. What I've seen is the impact that all 3 of those pieces make to help make you a better, healthier, happier person. So I provide several different services, from speaking engagements to Bible studies to community that you can subscribe to, where you can have access to our weekly calls. I call them our pep talks, where I'm just speaking with people and giving them encouragement, as well as answering questions, things of that nature. In the Word community, we also have our articles there, where I'm posting various health-related articles. And then we have our discussion board, where people who are dealing with their own battles literally are just supporting each other. Everything from, you know, you're going to get through X, Y, and Z to this is what I'm binge watching. I had a guy the other day just say that he's binge watching Power, which I'm doing the same. I'm on season 3. I'm going to get through. So that's what my business is. We're working on our 5K currently. I don't know when this video is going to be edited, but we're currently working on our 5K. My mother started a 5K walk 11 years ago for me. This was her way of taking action against the disease. But this is going to be the 11th year that we have that going on. And now that I'm back in Maryland, I'm actually helping to advertise and push and promote the walk. It's all about just doing, much like God blessed me to have these beautiful children, it's all about doing what people say we can. And I'm here to just help people know that you can do it. It's going to be hard. It's going to suck at times, but just keep putting one foot in front of the other.
And how can you be contacted for everything?
Sure. I can be contacted via my website, which is mygreat comeback, COMEBACK.com. You can find me on there. You can find me via my social media. I'm on Instagram and Twitter at mygreatcomeback.com. I'm also on YouTube as well. And I don't got a channel yet. That's why I need you to click on there and subscribe to my page. But if you just search for Edwin McClure or Ed McClure Stem Cell, any of those keywords, I got over 20 videos on YouTube now. So definitely check those videos out, subscribe, and like those there. Awesome.
All right, we talked about a lot. And your interview's getting rather lengthy. All right, so the final 2 questions was everybody who's a part of the documentary answers. As you know, this documentary is for high school students and college students to inspire them to go to college and stay in college. All right, so what advice would you give to a high school student that may come to you and ask you about college and ask you about, you know, what direction they should be taking? What would you tell that college student that's thinking about going to college and they happen to have MS? You know, like same thing. It's their senior year. They just got diagnosed with MS. What would you tell that college student that's trying to move forward in their life or a little confused?
Well, I would say the same thing to every high school student.
Mm-hmm.
And that's whether you have MS, whether you come from an abusive home. I mean, no matter what, life is not fair. Toughen up and keep going. College is the best years of your life. You get the chance to leave mom and dad. You get the chance to grow up. You get the chance to make your own money, you know, as I did. You get the chance to fail. But the stakes are not so high that you're going to end up homeless. College gives you a safe place to really give life a dry run. You know, you really get the chance to get out there and discover who you are, who you want to be, who you want to be around. So I wouldn't be who I am now had it not been for college. I mean, there's so much that I could say about college, and specifically about Hampton. It really did give me the chance to learn who, or to discover who Edwin is. College is where Edwin got changed to Ed. that like, I don't know where that nickname came from, but that's where I discovered myself. And I discovered that I'm a lot tougher than the glasses might make me look. You know, I've been through more than most. You've been through more than most. Go to college. Learn who you are. Learn to be the success that you are. Have fun. It's the best years of your life. And I would trade with you in a heartbeat so I could go and do it all over again. Absolutely go. Do what you need to do. Get to school. Don't take on debt if you can. But absolutely go to college.
Cool.
You won't regret it.
All right, and then for a college student that's thinking about dropping out of school, everybody has their own story. So, what if a college student came to you and said to you, "Listen, you know, Ed, listen, Edwin, Mr. McClure, whatever you want to call yourself, I want out. Now, this college is not for me." Who would you tell that person?
Well, I say why not? I would try to understand why they don't think college is for them.
Mm-hmm.
College isn't for everybody. I will make sure I say that. However, for most people it is. And usually if somebody's having trouble in college, it's because of something they are doing or not doing. I will never forget at Hampton when my dad called me and was checking on me. And he was like, you know, how you doing? And I was like, I'm stressed out because of these finals, and I'm stressed out because of this and that. And he was like, well, usually if a person's stressed out, it's because they're not prioritizing. That's what I would say to the person who's thinking about dropping out of school. Where are your priorities? Hampton, the ratio of women and men is ridiculous. If I'm talking to a guy, I'm going to be like, are you prioritizing the youngins over your books? You need to make sure you're taking care of business because you are there to get an education. I don't feel like too many women are going to come to me saying they want to drop out of school because it's usually us. I don't know what's wrong with us. I don't know what's wrong with us. But for any college students, just really make sure that you get your priorities in order. Know what you're there for. Know that, you know, Big Mama, everybody is looking at you and depending on you to be successful. So even if you're not feeling it, know that there are others who sold the family car or the family business or whatever to get you to college. You need to do what you need to do to make the people around you proud. At this point, it's not about you. It's about your kids. It's about your parents, your grandparents, your cousins, your nephews, your nieces. Everybody's looking at you to be a success story. So do what you need to do and get the job done.